Hi Libra, how are you? Welcome into your mid-December 2023 money and career tarot reading. I hope everything is absolutely amazing in your Libran world. As I remove this purple crystal, we're going to jump right into the Gilded Tarot Royale and see what the remainder of the month, the remainder of the year has in store for us in regards, of course, to our money and career situations. So with that shuffle out of the way, what do we have to begin for my lovely Librans for the remainder of December? The King of Swords, okay, the Strength card, and the Seven of Cups. I'm getting very much courage vibes, strength vibes, people seeing you as a very talented individual in the remainder of the month, and I feel like you have a lot to accomplish, but you will have even a busier schedule, more obligations, more responsibilities. Once again, a lot more on your plate in the upcoming months, right, to begin the new year than you will in the remainder of December. But it feels like you will create more to do. A sense of you being very much in your power at certain points or in certain ways throughout the remainder of December. And one of which is when you tap into that knowledge experience and wholeheartedly trust your intuition about when to spend money, when to hold back, how to manage things maybe. Certain little choices and decisions will take a highlight. But also when it comes to you doing what you're meant to do, right? It reminds me of me in this channel, even with certain slip-ups and difficulties, frustrations and whatnot. I do feel usually for the most part or in different ways within my individual power when I'm reading for people. But I do feel like you are going to remember how much you're worth. Maybe when you're interviewing for a new position, maybe when you're approaching somebody for a new opportunity, for more in regards for some continuing something of importance for you, even if that's simply just a job to make money. I feel like Libra, you're being reminded in the remainder of December as well that you have options. All right. Now this could be in regards to a new door opening for you. Do you need, do you need a new job? Do you need that pay raise or want that pay raise? Do you want to begin a business or expand that current business? I just heard or combine two of which. I do feel like there's a lot of entrepreneurs drawn to the reading, and some of which are an entrepreneur at heart, but do simply stick to a day-to-day job, if not multiple, because that's the way you were raised, because that's what's available, because you don't want to, I'm hearing lose it all on a risk. But then I feel like there's other Libras drawn to the reading where you're willing to take a risk, but are maybe in the midst of making a risk work. And then thinking about future ones. So it feels like a lot of different types of Libras drawn to the reading. But either way, I feel like there are definitely talented, strong, bold, powerful Libras drawn to the reading either way. Anyways, but I also feel like there's thoughts of, once again, doing what's right for you and thinking about what cups you've knocked over, kicked over yourself when it comes to your money and career, but also which ones inevitably were knocked over and spilt by spirit, the universe, maybe other people or somebody in particular. But I did just get, once again, I did just get the image of one cup being either pushed over or just naturally falling over and falling into another cup and then that one falling over. So it feels like there may be a highlight on maybe a bit of a domino effect or a chain of effects, one thing leading to another. And I also feel like whether it feels like it fully or all at certain points in the remainder of the month, things are falling into place for you and you need to be one with this feeling, or you need to be one with this realization or this remembrance moment, because things are truly working out for you. But it feels like a sense of, they're showing me the Five of Pentacles, a sense of lack or a sense of maybe not fully fitting in that work environment or at that home situation, maybe kind of taking over at certain points in your awareness, or maybe certain imperfections are taking away your focus on the positives in what's working out for you at this time. But I do feel like you're really blossoming through what you're accomplishing. And that's not just career-based. Of course it is at certain points. But say you're cleaning around the home situation. I'm struggling to speak this morning. Say you are organizing, you're communicating with people, at home, when you're shopping, even when you're shopping in general. I feel like there's a way about how these accomplishments are meant to be at that specific moment, and how you do it even helps you blossom through it all. But I also sense that something you're continuing for a lot drawn to the reading is blossoming quite consistently. Maybe not as fast as you'd like, but I do feel like it's better than maybe the recent past. You could be thinking about stagnancy, whether it's more past energy currently, both for some. Could be thinking about fluctuation, maybe in your finances, in career success, progression. But I do feel like there's a leap of faith of some sort for the near future that you're thinking about maybe preparing for. But I feel like for some of which you're maybe in the midst of this kind of full energy where you're putting on a bit of a show at certain points. You're trying to have fun when you're working, but then naturally you're overly serious and stern at certain points. You might be in the midst of a leap of faith that you need a new door to open to support that, right? But I do feel like for some, you're getting a new job in the remainder of the year, or a new business venture is beginning, or an expansion of some sort, because it feels like you're getting what you need, all right? Okay, what you want in certain smaller ways, right? Or you'll make that happen either way. But it feels like this full energy, if it's a new situation for you, beginning a new door opening, a new door opening once again, it's something you need, at least to an extent. But it feels like at certain points, you're picking up, my empathic Libras, you're picking up on certain down or heavy, burnt out energies. But there might be, being completely honest, certain moments in the remainder of the year where you do feel like this, right? But then we're reminded of certain points when we're feeling more alive, more motivated with it, right? And that might be right after you cleanse your energy. It might be more in regards to when you're doing more or less of this or that. So pay attention to your habits and occurrences and experiences. But don't overthink them all the meanwhile. Let's pull a couple more. And I'm also hearing stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. That could be at work, at home, you name it. But I do feel like you're very observant of yourself, of other people, of how things are affecting you. I would really watch the Aquarian reading I did, but I feel like you are trying to enjoy yourself more, but then you just get caught up in the mundane routines, tasks, accomplishments, or you just are kind of spacing out, a bit of a daydreamer maybe. There's a reason why I was chosen to wear, this sweatshirt was chosen for my reading. Anyways, as I catch my breath, it feels like you're needing to embody this Queen of Pentacles energy at certain points, reground yourself, a little bit of a showy energy once again, looking at that peacock and her showing off that pentacle, but also to an extent representing your work, all right? Thinking about your body of work, wanting to make a name for yourself. I do feel like you're going to need to dig for your inner strength and use it to your advantage when certain, I want to say toxicities or negatives, imperfections come into play at work and or at home. Or maybe when you're out and about, they're saying leisurely doing what you do as a Libra. You could be spending money browsing, maybe implementing self-care. But I just feel like you're being reminded that your choices are on point as long as you're intuitively trusting things along the way. But I do feel like you're also being reminded of a past similar situation in comparison to what you're wrapped up with in that specific moment, right? Say it's negative in that moment, right? It's noisy at home, or it's abrupt and unhealthy at work in that current moment. That similar situation from the past was worse, all right? So I feel like you're being reminded that you were feeling a lack of strength, a lack of ability at certain points to get the job done or to live comfortably because of that situation. So things could be a hell of a lot worse, all right? Excuse my language. But we also have the Seven of Wands and the Page of Swords, learning a lot through all that's coming towards you in the remainder of the month, because I feel like there's a lot expected from you, right? You accept an opportunity to make more money or to succeed more. And then, of course, a lot's going to be coming towards you. But it feels like a time period for you. It's very spiritual, very intuitive. So when you feel something coming towards you isn't meant to get done at that point, or isn't meant for you to carry or to even, concern yourself with, then trust that, right? And adjust from there. But I wouldn't be surprised if this is a period for you, Libra, where you're learning a ton about how you're growing and changing as a soul through your work, through communicating, and through people feeling quite drawn to your Libran way of being, right? And they're saying, smile, you're on camera. Smile, you're on camera. I honestly thought this was the Three of Pentacles at first, and so I'm kind of getting that energy. When somebody or something, or you randomly feel a little bit nervous in the remainder of the month, I feel like it's a very temporary moment, and you need to recognize that something's, somebody is affecting you, okay? So don't let it get out of hand. You're in the driver's seat. Anyways, the Ace of Wands and the Ten of Cups. Beautiful. We're thinking about passionate new beginnings for the near future, all right? I do also feel like you need to remember something's meant to be temporary, regardless of how long that period of time is meant to be for you individually. But you're working with your hands. You're very hands-on. You're very expressive in the remainder of the month. But I feel like there's times when you need to maybe dim it down. Don't take that offensively. It reminds me of my first full version of your reading 2 days ago. It wasn't bad in the first 3/4 of which, and then a dog started chirping. Things were affecting me and I couldn't speak very well. So I waited, couldn't do them yesterday. So I came back and am redoing it now. But you get the point. It feels like the point was I was too caffeinated, okay? The energy wasn't right for your reading. So do watch your caffeination intake levels. But I do feel like you are very passionate either way. But it's about channeling and utilizing that passion, that intention and motivation to your advantage, to whatever you're working on and want to go the distance, to that's advantage all the meanwhile, right? Everything in moderation as well. Take that as you wish, as you must. Everything will get done when it's meant to. It feels like you're going to be in the right place at the right time. You're going to be accomplishing things and holding back when you're meant to, on point, all right? You may be very accurate in what you say, in what you predict for some Libras. There's a sense of there being a very fulfilling, very happy connection to your work at certain points in the remainder of the month, but there's a very happily ever after I'm kind of finding you're going to be thinking about in the remainder of the year. That's going to have a lot of passion, a lot of hard work, and rewards flowing in. I sense that you're going to go the distance. I really, really feel that wholeheartedly. And it feels like you're a very golden, again, passionate pillar of success where you'll do what you have to do, right? You're also being reminded as a Libra being drawn to this reading. Not every Libra, let's be completely honest. But being drawn to this reading, when you need something, when you want something, trusting your intuition and going with the flow is key at certain points. But don't you make it happen either way, or don't you push forward and end up co-creating with spirit all at the end of the day. It feels like you're going to see things work out for you, so don't stress, because it feels like there's a wish that hasn't come to be just yet, right? But you're being viewed as a very, they're saying a very Aquarian-like energy, and somebody who just has that star-like quality. Now, I do also feel like there's certain vulnerable moments in the remainder of the month that are going to work to your advantage. There's also going to be a focus on taking care of yourself as far as exercise, quality sleep, healthy routines, as far as drinking enough water, eating healthy foods. It's going to benefit your motivation, your endurance, and the quality of your work all the meanwhile. Let's pull one or two more. The Six of Swords in reverse, very interesting. This deck is not, very, very interesting. I feel like these are the only two cards in reverse in the deck. It feels like there's a very emotionally detached way about how you're going to manifest something coming into your money and career situation, or life in general. But it feels like you're going to, at times, effortlessly get things accomplished. And I feel like there's something you're not meant to leave behind, where you're going to find that you very efficiently get things accomplished within that situation. Even if it's simply healing at home, could be, other tasks at home. It could be you work from home. It could be at your work situation or where you run your business. But anyways, it feels like something, if not multiple situations, are meant to continue, and things are meant to feel a lot easier at this time, at least for the most part. And it feels like the abundance, the rewards, the success that's coming to be in the remainder of December for you, Libra, is just a taste of what lies ahead in 2024. All right? So I hope this was truly helpful. I'm sending you so much love and light. Go enjoy the remainder of December, and I'll see you next time.